Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. As you can see, we're surrounded by books. That gives us a few options for what that video could be. Today though, the video is another author's diary entry. I realize I haven't done one in a while. So here we are. If you didn't know, I am a published author. Here's my book, Upside Down, by yours truly. So I've made videos talking about kind of different processes, the writing process, creating characters, and so forth. The first video is a brief overview of everything, and then I start breaking down my other entries with specific topics. You don't have to watch them in order, but like it makes sense. I talk about different things. So I mean, it's up to you. But today I am talking about promotion for my book. I realize I haven't done that as well. So my book, I wrote this when I was in undergrad, my senior year, and then I got it published when I was in grad school. Yes, in 2023. So I did some promotion essentially by myself. It was all the promotion. I had a few book signings and things like that, but that was all me, myself, and I. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about that. I also forgot to mention that I did a photo shoot for my book release. So I got dressed up in something similar to the color palette of my book just so I could have pictures to promote. So I am also going to include a little video I took during the photo shoot. Photo shoot time, featuring my good friend Hannah, photographer in the making. Finished. Sick. Okay, now we can get back to the rest of the video. The first book signing I did was through my grad school. We had a capstone presentation, and I did an app that was searching for diverse literature, and that's something that's really important to me. So with that, I also used it to showcase my book, because why would I not? It goes into the category of diverse literature. And I had a banner made. everyone that was doing capstone was able to get a banner made. You just had to design it and turn it in by a certain time. So I did that. I'll try to put that somewhere. And half of it talked about my app. The other half talked about my book. And because I was also doing that, my mom and my godmother came down for capstone and graduation. So my mom brought some copies of my book so I could sell at my capstone. And I did sign all the books there, and also if they wanted a personalized message, I did that as well. So that was a setup. I think capstone was like 3 hours, and I want to say I sold all but maybe two to four books I didn't sell. And it was physical copies, but I did also let people know that you could get a digital copy as well, because my book is being sold physical copies and digitally for those who like to read ebooks. So I did that, and I had all the different forms. You could do cash, you could do Cash App, Zelle. I had all of that set up. So a portion of my capstone table was my books for sale, how they could pay to get the book, and then also talking about my capstone with my binder with information pertaining to that. Again, I'll try to find some pictures to show what that looked like. So that was my first official book signing, and I think it went really well. People were interested. I had conversations about my app that I created, had conversations about the book, and they were good segues. That's why I say it's important when you do work to tie it to something you enjoy doing, so it's not going to feel like work. So that's how that was able to kind of work together. And it was also really exciting because, sure, I'm doing this capstone, I need to do this to graduate, but at the same time I was selling my book and introducing people to me as an author. So that was amazing. And then after graduation, I went home for a little bit before I started working and had to move back to North Carolina. So when I was at home, I did a church book signing. My church family's always been there for me, so we kind of hooked that up. They made announcements, I think the Sunday before I had the signing, that I was going to be doing a signing. They of course made an announcement that I published a book and all of that jazz. So I created flyers for that so we could post around the church. My mom had ordered the copies of the book so we could have those. I don't remember how many she ordered, but we were just trying to have enough. But again, letting people know they could get the physical copy, but they could also get the ebook copy. And again, I did the same, Cash App, Zelle, PayPal, or cash, had that set up. So that Sunday, the next Sunday, I started getting set up before church was about to end, because they were going to make a final announcement after the church service that I was going to be selling books like out in the lobby area. So I had a table set up, I had the flyers put around, I had the books stacked up. I made sure, you know, it was going to be a smooth transition to where I was able to sign my name in the book, and then if they wanted a personalized message, I could do that as well. My mom helped out, of course, so we can make sure it was a good transition of collecting money and then getting the books. I don't remember how many copies I left with or how many copies I brought for that as well, but I think that was the first like big signing I did at church. And then afterwards, some people would come to me and they were like, hey, do you happen to have a copy of your book? Like, I'd like to buy it. So my mom started keeping copies of my book in her car in case after church on Sunday, someone came up to her or myself to ask for a copy. So those are the only book signings that I've done, but they were all, you know, special and cool in their own way. And that was done through my mom and myself, honestly. We just kind of thought those would be good ideas, and my church family has always been supportive. So when they found out I published a book, they wanted to do a book signing at their church. So that's how that happened. Other promotions that I've been doing are social media. So I'm active on Instagram and TikTok. I will say my TikTok has more of a following and more interaction than Instagram, but I personally think that's because more people are on TikTok than Instagram nowadays. So I just wanted to show some of the content I do, and yeah, how I keep up with that. At least I try to. When I first started with the social medias, I wasn't exactly sure what to be posting, so I did a general introductory post, just so people could get to know me per se, and then I started to post like little teasers or things like that. I ended up having a time where I took a break from that social media of marketing my book because I wasn't sure what to be doing. And when I came back to it, I had more ideas. So now I try to create a bunch of content so I can just roll it out as needed. And then there are sometimes I try to look at what's trending on TikTok, what's catching people's attention, and also, since I like to read, what catches my attention, so I can then go make that for my professional TikTok. So I just want to show some things that I've already posted, and then usually when I post on my TikTok, I also post the same thing on my Instagram, so it's the exact same information. That way if someone finds me on Instagram and then they stumble upon my TikTok, it's the same thing. And then I also try to repost with my personal social media accounts just to spread more awareness. Yeah, I'm trying to, you know, get people to notice the book, to know that it's out and that I am in fact working on the second book. So this is one that drew a lot of attention. So I saw this on TikTok, like someone else had did it, and I thought it was pretty cool, so I changed it to fit my book, and it drew a lot of attention. People were commenting under the post, so that's what we love to see. And it's Netflix themed, which, you know, Netflix is popular, so people enjoyed that. And this is the second page, so I did 2 of them, if you can see. But it's essentially a brief little intro of what Upside Down is, and then little snippets for the first 6 chapters. I kind of pulled sentences from the book to describe the chapters to get people buzzing, and then letting them know that it's out now. And of course, it does not have a Netflix series, no, but you never know, we can manifest that. So that was one that drew a lot of attention. This is another post that drew a lot of attention, but it's also something I've noticed other authors do when they promote their books. So it's going to be a couple slides. So this first one, it just says the author, which is myself. I have a couple pictures to introduce that, and then my female main character, Lana. And I just use these images as what she would kind of look like or so forth, because I don't have any character art done for them. Eventually I would love to get some character art, just don't have that right now. So, you know, give something for the people to look at. And then our male main character, TK, and then the setting, of course. And then I did 2 pictures from each, so 2 pictures to represent Rose City and 2 pictures to represent Earth's surface, so people know the type of worlds and how it's like the rich versus poor. And then other important characters that have leeway in the books, it's just, again, to give them something to look at. And then the vibes, just so that you can see that it's giving fancy, but also giving that dystopian vibe, that there is something going on, a little bit of romance, pulling from there. And then, of course, the cover of Upside Down, and then where you can get it, Amazon and Barnes & Nobles. And I've done different variations of this setup because it draws a lot of attention. Like, people like, share, they comment on those posts. So I do those every now and then, but I make sure that I change them. But this one I recently posted and it's been a hit, honestly. So that's just one that I've noticed that was trending, and I made sure to put that one in every now and then because you want people to want to share your post, want to comment it, like it, bookmark it, because if they bookmark it, that means they might be going back to share it with someone or going back so they can, you know, get more information about it later. Let me see if I have another one that did well. And again, I do all of my social media graphics in Canva. I do have Canva Pro. When I first started posting, I did not have Canva Pro, so I would like to say the videos, the graphics have improved as I got Canva Pro because I'm able to do more. But you can still have like a really good design even without Canva Pro. This one was pretty simple, but it gets to the point. The title of the book upside down, some images that represent the book, and that was it. And I also try to do social media captions before I create graphics, so I have a few different captions already set up, and then once I create a graphic, I'll match a caption with it after the fact. And I've also done like recycled some of my captions, but made sure it wasn't verbatim, just pulling key phrases or keywords that make sense for the new graphic. Because sometimes you're not trying to do all of that. Let's see. Put the sound on. Okay. And there we have it. I did that reel on Canva. I did add different music, but I didn't add that music until I got to TikTok. And then with TikTok, when you make edits with music and stuff, it'll save a different version to your phone. And then I posted that one to Instagram. But this was something that I saw on TikTok, and I was like, you know, this would be cute, switch it up myself. I didn't see someone do it for a book per se. They just did it to celebrate their anniversary with someone, but I thought it would be a cute book idea. So yeah, Canva, I'm always looking for new ways on Canva to design a graphic or a video. I also have noticed when it comes to promoting on TikTok and Instagram, it's not always the same interaction. So for me, images do really well on TikTok. Like when I post either a single graphic or a couple graphics where they slide and interact, those do really well. The videos, they do okay, but in comparison to the graphics, not as much. But then on Instagram, the reels do pretty good. Like they get a lot of views, and then the graphics not so much. But again, my followings are not the same on the social medias. I do have a better following on TikTok than I do on Instagram, but again, I truly think that's because more people are on TikTok than Instagram nowadays. But I think it's good to try to cover all the bases when it comes to social media. But I only do Instagram and TikTok, and then of course I will try to like reiterate, repost on my personal TikTok and Instagram, so my followers and friends can see on there as well, just in case they're not following my professional pages. And since I've done that, I've actually had people come from my personal page to my professional page. So that's a good way to you know, keep active and spreading the word. And of course, I do these videos on YouTube. I have so many different videos on YouTube though. I don't know what the people are coming for. I don't know if the people, you know, stay for the book videos, for the travel videos, or what the case may be. But I just try to talk about the book as much as I can. And then of course, word of mouth is always good. When you're meeting new people in person, bring it up if you can, whether that's in personal or professional settings. It's always good to talk about. So those are some ways I have done promoting, again, mostly myself, and I try to post as much as I can. There are some times where I might post every day of the week, and then there are some times where I might only post once a week, and then you see another post from me in another week or a week and a half. I am trying to get better at posting as often as possible, but then at the same time, I also have to come up with the content. So it has been a lot, but it's also fun because I'm, you know, being more creative and finding different ways that attract people to my page and to the book and that want to learn more. So that's how promotion has been going for me. I know it can differ from person to person, from author to author, whether you have a big publishing company or you don't, or if you're an indie author as well. So that's just some of the things that I have done, what's been working for me. Of course, there's always room for growth, and I will also be looking at new ways to promote my book. But yes, Upside Down by yours truly, Michaela Zeno. Go check it out. It is out now. Book 1 of a series. There are going to be 2 books. I am working on book 2. It is coming along, and I can't wait for that one to be out in the world. Hopefully y'all enjoyed this video. Go watch the other videos in the series if you have not. But if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you would like to see more, please hit the subscribe button down below. Peace and blessings, my loves.